Yeah, just excited about our another one coming up Saturday. Got to go play a really good athletic Central Florida team that's had some really good wins, and then they've been in quite a few close games. And for whatever reason, sometimes they hadn't ended up on probably the side they want to end up on. But known Satia, she played for me at Arkansas on our Final Four team. She's doing a great job with that group and her and her staff, and so again, when you go on the road, life's always can be challenging, and we'll have to go in there and play really well. It's an early game, 12 Eastern tip, 11 Central in the morning. Just like when you go on the road, you have issues getting into other people's buildings and trying to get shots up, and I don't think anybody on my group wants to get up at 5 a.m. for a shoot around. So, you don't get that shoot around that you typically get when you're on the road, and so and it's also a double header day for them. So all those things combined, you have a unique situation. So it's going to be real important that we get a lot done today. Tomorrow is our travel day, and then we'll get up Saturday morning and get ready for a road game in the Big 12, which is never easy.
I think after watching the film, did you feel any different this morning than you did last night?
Yeah, the film doesn't lie, but here's the narrative, y'all. We're 25-3. We won a game last night on not our best night. You know what? That's a pretty good sign. I love these kids, but if you're a parent, sometimes you can want some things so badly for your children, and sometimes you want it more than they do. But that's our job as parents. And so many decisions I make come with parental instincts, and that's what I meant when I said that, what I said last night. I got a locker room full of kids that care deeply about our team and about our program, and I love them so much and want so much for them. And again, sometimes you can want it so badly for them, and you don't want them to miss an opportunity, and that's what that was about. I've seen the comparison of some of my comments last night to Augie Garrido's tirade, and I don't think that's quite fair. We certainly I don't think it's quite the same, but nonetheless, again, just want it really, really bad for our players, and again, I've got a locker room full of kids that want it badly too, and that care deeply. And I think at the end of the day, when you step back, you have to acknowledge that, and so that's where we are today.
It's definitely not the same.
Sir?
I said it's definitely not the same.
Thank you.
Kind of going off that though, are there instances where, you had to remind yourself, or you had to tell the team a win's a win, that's okay, especially in this conference where every Kansas State game is being decided by 2 points. Oklahoma's lost to Southern. Is sometimes a win just okay?
Yeah, I think what I said earlier, on a night when we weren't our best and we still found a way to win, I think that's a great sign for our team. These kids have done so much, as y'all know, I've said many times, and to be where they are today under the circumstances that they've had is really quite remarkable. And nobody knows that, sees it more than I do each and every day, and nobody appreciates it more than I do. And so again, I do think you're glad you got the lesson with a win, and at the same time, I could tell in that locker room last night that those kids knew, hey, we probably need to, we weren't very good, and we need to fix it. And so I fully expect them to come out today and really be attentive and alert and focused, as they should be. But y'all, the season is such a long, hard grind. No other sport covers both semesters like our sport. You start the first day of class with conditioning. You end, if you're doing your job, in April. And you get no Thanksgiving, no Christmas. no spring break. And so it's just, you know, you have to keep an eye on those things too with our kids. It's now February 21st. And, you know, now your freshmen are starting to get into uncharted territory where not only have they been practicing harder and longer, but it's more intense. Games are more intense. They're more meaningful. They're more emotional. And so now your antennas go up and you're careful and you're really paying attention to that. So I think all in all, you know, I'm aware of everything. But again, I am really, I'm glad we got the win last night. Again, tremendous credit to Texas Tech for coming in and playing like they played. And, you know, those kids really played their hearts out, and Coach Gerlich did an outstanding job with them. But at the same time, we've got to move on and get ready for another game. We can't sit here and continue to contemplate on that. It's done. It's over. We'll watch film today. The film won't lie, and then we'll get ready.
Coach, do you think the game yesterday, the way that you won, has an effect on the crowd size and also recruits? Does the crowd say, "Hey, they're a winning program, but this is gonna be another win"? You know, maybe I don't know.
I don't think anybody last night is thinking like I'm thinking. I think everybody walked out of there that I talked to, and man, that was an exciting, tough game. Congratulations, Coach. So I think that's.
Recruits. Do you think recruits see that?
I think they see the crowd no matter if you win or lose. I think what I've done over a career and what we've done here at Texas is what recruits see. So I don't think one night makes or breaks you. You know, again, I think if recruits are watching us, they see certain positions where they know we need help, man, they're ready to sign up. And then so I think that all in all, you know, there's not anything from a attendance or recruiting that comes out of last night's game that's negative in any way at all.
Do you have a good feel for where your team is and what you need from them over these last few games to know they're ready to go with the postseason?
Absolutely.
Does last night deter from what you thought where they were?
No, I again, there were some things last night that were just so surprising to me that, you know, maybe I was caught a little off guard with, because we hadn't seen it all year like that. And it was a combination of things last night that, you know, and so we hadn't had that combination of things that happened last night that maybe hurt us adversely that we had last night. So again, Booker in foul trouble. Guards not really playing as well defensively as they have all year, and we still found a way to get through that. Booker comes in and goes 10 for 10 at the free throw line. Hey, we don't win the game if she don't make her free throws. Let's face it. So you got to give the kid credit for that. And so, again, I think the way we've been all year and the way we've competed, here's what we said, and here's what y'all all need to understand this. This team set the standard. They've set the standard for where we are this year. If we hadn't have built this to where we are at 25-3 and the standard hasn't been set, if we'd been doing this and, you know, gone like so many thought we would have gone after losing Rory, then we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be having these real conversations and these, you know, where we're. So give the team credit. They set the standard that we're trying to live by with this team right now today. So that's where we're at with 3 games to go. So I give them all the credit in the world, but now let's try to live up to that standard. We've worked so hard to get to this point. And so I think that's the beautiful thing about this team and about these kids. And you have to give them all the credit in the world for that.
What do you remember about Cydia as a player? And did you see a coach in her?
Yeah, big physical guard, man. She was tough. You talk about a competitor now. That kid was a competitor, man. She was a bulldog, really, really competitive. And, you know, it was a big reason for our push to the Final Four. Her and Christy Smith were probably the 2 guards that really, you know, carried us a lot You know, we had that dog inside at 6'1.5", and Karen and then we had another Karen and Karen Carlin at the 4. Those kids were ultra competitive. Wendy Willett's at the 2. Wendy's now a high school coach in Oklahoma. I don't know if I saw a coach in her then, but I've watched her over her years as an assistant at Baylor, you know, for so many years, and now having her opportunity. She's been a head coach twice now, if I remember right. And so, you know, obviously, again, I watch her teams play, and she's running some of the same plays that we run, and some of the same plays we ran back in the day. So, and some of the same plays that they ran at Baylor. So, you know, that's what you do when you're young. You develop your philosophy from the people you're with and the people you go against. And so she's somebody I'm awfully proud of.
She may not play this weekend, but Jordana gets to go home this weekend. Can you talk a little bit about her development this season, kind of what you've seen from her and where you think her future is at?
Yeah, just, you know, with Jordana, again, really a miracle when you consider how many ACLs she had to deal with, the injuries she had, and what she's been through. And yet the kid moves really well. She's bouncy. She's got some hops. And so just like any freshman, just understanding that, you know, it's not about scoring. If you can defend, rebound, and not turn the ball over, that gives you a chance to play really quick in your career. And but if you falter in any of those three, it's hard to play you this time of year through your mistakes. And kind of felt like last night we had a little bit of that issue with some of the kids coming off the bench. We just can't play you through 2 turnovers in 3 minutes. You know, Gaston had a real bad first half, but came back and had a much better rotation in the second half. You know, you got to come in ready to play. And, you know, Deanna's been playing really well for us. We got her 11 really good looks last night. She knows she got to make a few more than she made last night, but she's been playing well. So excited to take Jordana back to Florida. You know, again, I'm pleased with her. She's a great kid, works really hard. But, you know, as a freshman, has a lot of the typical freshman obstacles that you have that first year when you can play.
Coach, last night you said you took the responsibility for the way they played. So from that game, and then from a game that maybe they played at the standard that they set, what's the difference in your coaching between those times and last night, or when they don't play that standard?
You know, it's just real simple, y'all. Like, the kids get all the credit when we win, and I need to take the blame when we lose. That's always been my philosophy. It was Paul Bear Bryant's philosophy. It's somebody, you know, I pay attention to growing up to other coaches and philosophies, and you know, that's just the way I like to do it. I think that coaches get way too much credit when things are going, you know, are going well in certain instances. Sometimes they do deserve credit, but in certain instances, kids are the ones playing. You know, when the lights come on, they better be ready. You know, the hay's in the barn, so to speak. Lights come on, you better have it stacked right, and they better be ready to go. And if it's not, then the accountability needs to fall on me. That's just how I've always done it. But again, we give God the glory in victory. We give Him glory in defeat. You know, for us as a team, you know, if we don't play well, if we don't execute, if we're not ready to go, you know, that falls on me. And these kids have done it. I've praised them all year. Y'all know that. Y'all been in every media that we've had. I'm so proud of them. They're doing things nobody, including y'all, thought they could do. I'm so proud of them for that. And so now you get to the point in the season where we're at right now, and you just want it so badly for them. And so that, you know, again, just like a parent's gonna want it so badly for their children. But you know, sometimes your children don't want it as bad as you want it, and not anybody's fault. It's just, you know, so, but I do think this, I'll say that I do think these kids want it. I do think they do. Last night was not a good night, but we found a way to win, and I think that needs to be where we are going forward.
So how will you spend your Saturday morning if you want to do a shoot around?
Yeah, so we'll get up at 7:30, have breakfast at 8. We will load and be gone by 9:45. We'll get to the arena by 10. The floor's available at 10:15, and we will be on the floor getting shots at 10:15. And we've done it before that way. I've had to do it before in the SEC when you play that 11 a.m. Eastern game. You know, they'll have 11, 1, 3, and 5 on Sunday on the SEC network. And I've had that 11 a.m. game in Kentucky, which is really 10 Central. And so, you know, we've had to do it there where we get up, we get there early, we're on the floor 2 hours prior and getting shots up. And, you know, this team's been really good. They're very intentional. Shaylee, Booker's been really good with Gisela. They're getting on the floor. You know, we started that at Baylor, and we've done it now every game since then, getting on the floor early and getting some shots up. So that's how our Saturday will look. All right, hey, appreciate y'all. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.